What if you could just describe an app idea, in plain English, and then just watch an AI build the whole thing for you in minutes? I know it sounds like sci-fi, but it's not. Today, we're taking a look at Google's brand new tool, Antigravity. And honestly, this might be one of the biggest leaps forward for actually making software that we've ever seen. Okay, let's be real for a second. We've all been there, right? You get that amazing flash of inspiration, a brilliant idea for a website, or maybe a custom tool for your work, maybe even the next killer app. But then reality hits. That excitement just crashes into this giant wall. You realize you don't have the time, or the money, or maybe you just don't have the deep coding skills to actually make it happen. Yeah, that is what we call the coding bottleneck. It's that super frustrating barrier made of complex code, endless debugging, all those confusing setups that just stand between your vision and a real working product. It is literally the reason why so many amazing, game-changing ideas never leave the notebook. But what if you could just walk right around that wall? I mean, what if building software was as simple as just talking about it, describing what you want? Well, that is the incredible promise we're digging into today. And it's a promise that could totally change who gets to be a builder.
So what's the tool that's actually supposed to tear down this wall?
Well, let's meet your new AI copilot. Okay, so this is Google Antigravity. Now, on the surface, it looks like an IDE. That's an integrated development environment. Think of it like a digital workbench for developers. But here's the twist. It's powered by something totally new, autonomous AI agents. And no, this is not just another code assistant that suggests a line or two. We're talking about an agent that takes your big idea and handles the entire project. The planning, the writing, the testing, all of it. The concept behind all this is called agentic development. And believe me, it is a total game changer. Think about it like this. Traditionally, you had to lay every single brick yourself. Now, you're the architect. You just hand over the complete blueprint to this team of tireless AI builders, and they handle the entire construction. You have the vision, and the agent does the heavy lifting. And this comparison right here really just nails the difference. On one side, you've got the old way, the traditional grind, writing every line of code by hand, the nightmare of debugging, juggling a million different tools. But on the other side, that's the agentic future. And look, it's not just about going faster. It's a fundamental shift in your job. You go from being the builder, deep in the weeds, to being the architect, the creative director, focused only on the what and the why, not the tedious how. Okay, so that's the big idea, but how does it actually work in the real world? Let's walk through how you go from a simple prompt to a finished product. So once you're in the anti-gravity environment, which by the way, just runs in your browser, the whole workflow is super straightforward. First, you just write a detailed prompt explaining what you want to build. Then, the AI agent basically puts on its senior developer hat and maps out a whole step-by-step plan. You get to look over that plan, and if you like it, you give it the green light. Then the agent gets to work building. And the best part, it even tests the final app for you in a built-in browser. And we're not just talking about little Hello World projects here. Check out this real-world example. This person is asking for a whole cinematic YouTube intro. They're specifying assets, background gradients, zoom effects, all of it. And this level of detail is exactly what the agent needs. It can read this, understand the creative vision, and then generate all the code and assets to make it happen. So how in the world does it do that? Well, think of the AI agent as a really, really good project manager. It reads your prompt, and then it looks inside its toolbox for the right skills. Things like video creation tools or web frameworks. It grabs what it needs, and then it gets to work writing the code, organizing all the files, and putting all the pieces together. It's literally translating your words into a working product. Okay, so what does this whole agent-driven thing actually mean for you? Well, the advantages are massive, and it doesn't matter if you're a total beginner or a seasoned pro. I mean, this is just a massive accelerator. Think about it. An entrepreneur could whip up a prototype for a new business over a weekend. A marketer could build a custom landing page in just an afternoon. It completely automates all the boring, tedious parts of development. That means it opens the door for beginners and lets experts work at, warp speed. And get this, during the preview phase, it's totally free to use, and it's running on some of Google's most powerful AI, like Gemini 3 Pro. All right, so to get the most out of a tool this powerful, you've got to learn how to talk to it, how to communicate your ideas clearly. It really is all about mastering the art of the prompt. So here are a few tips to get you started. First, be super specific. Don't just say, make me a website. Tell it about the sections, the colors, the fonts you want. If you've got a big idea, like a whole job search site, break it into smaller pieces. Tell it to build a homepage first, then ask for the search feature. This step-by-step approach works way better. And probably the most important tip, always read the AI's plan before you let it run. That's your moment to make sure it's on the right track before it starts building.
All right, let's zoom out for a minute, because when you think about it, the long-term implications of something like this are, well, they're huge.
What we're really seeing here is the democratization of building things. Seriously, tools like Antigravity are completely changing what it even means to be a builder. Remember that big wall we talked about, the coding bottleneck? Well, it's starting to crumble. That gap between having a great idea and having a real product, it's getting smaller every single day. And that really leaves us with this one big, exciting question. When all the technical roadblocks are just gone, and anyone with a good idea can build an app just by describing it, what amazing new things are we going to see? What ideas that used to be stuck in people's heads because they couldn't code are finally going to come to life? I am genuinely curious to know what you would build with this. Drop a comment below and let me know. And hey, if you got some value out of this, a like and subscribe would mean the world. Thanks for hanging out with me.